Revelation 12 shows how God's kingdom comes in heaven and on earth. This chapter is connected to Genesis 3:15, where God promises that the offspring of the woman will crush the serpent. The conflict between the woman and the serpent continues through history. It reaches its center in the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, and then continues in Satan's attack against the church. The purpose of Revelation 12 is to comfort and encourage God's people. Satan still attacks believers on earth, but Jesus has already won the decisive victory through his death and resurrection. Because of Christ's victory, believers can continue to live as faithful witnesses.
The woman represents God's people. She includes both Old Testament Israel and the New Testament church. The child is Jesus Christ, the Messiah. The dragon is Satan. Satan has always tried to destroy God's people. The dragon tries to copy God, but he is only a false and evil imitation. He uses empire, power, violence, and deception. In John's time, the Roman Empire was a major example of this evil power.
The dragon tries to destroy Christ, but he fails. Jesus dies on the cross like a criminal under Rome, but he rises again and is taken up to God's throne. From that moment, God's kingdom begins in a decisive way. Since Satan cannot defeat Christ, he attacks the church, the community of the Messiah. God leads the woman into the wilderness and protects her for 1,260 days. The wilderness is not only a place of danger, it is also a place where God protects, feeds, and trains his people. The church is not called to escape the earth, but to live faithfully on earth as a witness against Satan's rule.
Revelation 12 shows the war in three ways: the war from the beginning of history, the war in heaven, and the war the church now faces on earth. In the heavenly war, Michael and his angels fight the dragon. The dragon is defeated and thrown down from heaven. This shows that Satan's power to accuse believers has been broken by the cross and resurrection of Jesus. Satan can no longer accuse God's people before God. The blood of Jesus has made them righteous. Believers overcome Satan in two ways: by the blood of the Lamb and by their faithful testimony. Even suffering and martyrdom are not signs of Satan's victory. They show the victory of faithful believers.
Satan's defeat brings two responses. Heaven rejoices because the accuser has been thrown down, but the earth faces trouble because Satan is angry. He knows his time is short, so he attacks God's people more fiercely. The dragon persecutes the woman. This reminds us of Pharaoh chasing Israel after the Exodus. Just as God protected Israel with eagle's wings, God protects and nourishes the church in the wilderness.
Satan sends a flood from his mouth to destroy the woman. This flood is not literal water. It represents lies, false teaching, deception, and persecution. Satan tries to destroy the church from the inside and the outside, but God protects his people and defeats Satan's plan. When the dragon fails, he stands on the sand of the sea. This prepares for Revelation 13, where the beast from the sea and the beast from the earth appear. Satan will now use political and religious powers to attack God's people.
The main message is clear. Satan has attacked God's people from the beginning, but he has already been decisively defeated by the cross and resurrection of Jesus. The church still lives in a wilderness-like world, facing suffering and deception. But God protects and nourishes his people. Believers overcome Satan by the blood of the Lamb and by faithful testimony. So the church must not be afraid. It must stand firm as a witness to God's kingdom on earth.